Okay, so in this video, we're gonna learn the different editing modes for our objects. Essentially, how to translate, rotate, and scale the objects that we select. Okay, so whenever we create a new object, whenever I created a new object, let's say this cone right here, if you notice that cone is inside of the cube, right? So that's not ideal. I wanna maybe have it somewhere away from it, right? So now here is where moving around is gonna come in. So if you notice on this upper toolbar, we have different, basically different editing modes. We have the select that outlines the object that we are on. We have the translate, the rotate, and the scale. Okay, so let's go one by one through each of them and try to understand them. Okay, so then what you should do right now, you should have created a cone. And then that cone is probably gonna appear somewhere like very close to the cube that we already had. Okay, so if I select the cone, I can select it here from the outliner. I'm gonna try to move it away. So how do we move? We're gonna use the translate mode. The translate is this one that we see here. So this one is actually select the regular cursor symbol. Then the translate is gonna be this one with all the arrows. And now how do we move our object? When you are on translate mode, you're gonna notice that there's gonna be these different colored arrows showing up. So what does each of them mean? Those refer to the coordinates of your environment. Here you see in the bottom left corner, there's like some coordinates. And if I move, kind of like move around a little bit, you can see how the coordinates move according to how I rotate. So you have the y-axis, which is like pointing that way, the x-axis pointing that way, and then the z, which the z talks more about like the up or down. Okay, so how do I move related to those axes? We're gonna drag using the arrows. So for example, here, if I hover through the arrows, I can make it so that I move in that direction. Let's say I just wanna move on the x-axis. I drag it, and as you can see, I'm only gonna move on that axis. Same thing for the other arrows. Let's say I want to move in that axis, in this y-axis, I can do that, or in the z, okay? So for now, just move it away from the cube. It can be just like this, right next to it, and that should do the trick, okay? Now, hopefully with this, you learn how to move. Also, you don't necessarily have to only move like on regards to the axis, you can also move it freely by grabbing the dot. You see this dot, kind of like, I cannot really zoom in that much, but you see that white dot there? You can click on that and then move it however you want. You see, I'm dragging it across the screen without necessarily caring about the axis. That's also an option. So as you can see, you can move freely like this, or if you want to be more organized, move according to the arrows. Okay. Now let's go to the next mode. We're gonna go on the rotate. So for the rotate, uh, let's actually select the cube. I think it's better for this visualization. For rotating, it's similar to how we move depending of the axis, but now we're talking about rotating the object, not necessarily moving it. So for example, if I move it, rotate here, you see how I'm rotating in regards to this axis. If I do like in this other one, you see we're moving it like this. Or in this other direction, now we're rotating in this way. You see, we can do same for the cone, right? So That's how you want to rotate. Make sure you have the item selected on this rotate mode, and then that's how you do it. Finally, we have the scale, which is this third option right here. Scale refers to changing the size of your object. Okay, so basically reshaping the size. And does that work? Let's test it out. If I rescale on the x-axis, you see it's gonna reshape to expand across that axis or even reduce. You see the cube was originally like this. I can I can make it thinner. I can make it wider and in the direction that I need, upwards or downwards, towards that direction, you see, or if you want to make it in all directions, same thing, select the middle point, and then you see it's gonna become smaller or bigger in all directions, right? So that's how you wanna scale your objects, okay? Another thing that I think is useful to know, when you have an item selected, you can actually duplicate it if you click Control D. So let's say I'm here, I do Control D. You see now there's two cube, cube 1, cube 2, and now cube 2, I can move it around. So do same as me. Let's actually move this one upwards. You should have two cubes because you duplicated, and then you should have a cone here that we created from before. And make sure that you tested out all the editing modes, same as I did. Okay?